Question 1362. If someone asked you to help them die, would you help them even knowing you could be prosecuted?
Depends on how they want to die.
That depends on a lot of things.
Yeah, like
Do I
if they're
care
asking
about
me like,
this
hey,
person? Do I really know them? Are they part of my family? What are they suffering from? Why do they want to die?
Presumably, you know them. On a
well, even if I know them, it's gonna be on how they want to die. Like, oh, can you just throw me down these flight of stairs, please? No, thanks.
No, we're assuming they just want to get out of life quickly and painlessly.
So if they're willing to put my name on a life insurance policy first, I might be inclined.
Yeah, you can't claim on a life insurance policy if you're listed as the murderer.
And most of the time, you can't get life insurance if it's a suicide. So
Only if I get caught.
only
You
if
can
you
make it look like an accident.
Although,
see.
the fact that they just changed your name on the life insurance, they're instantly going to think it's you.
Wait, is that true? Because I did write this question, and I was leaning toward assisted suicide, and I thought that there are some places in those states where it's legal, and those places you can still get your life insurance policy, even if it's.
Actually, it is not true that you can't get life insurance if you commit suicide. There are some policies that exclude that, but there are many policies that don't. And there's a good number of policies that just have a time limit on it. As long as it's not within 1 year of when you bought the policy, it's okay.
Right.
I mean,
You know,
like,
that's
if
a plan.
it was like Grandpa asking me, like, "Hey, I want you to pull the plug on me," like,
No,
Basically,
he's not asking you to pull the plug. He's asking you to snuff him with the pillow.
Basically, I said, sign this in my name, and I'll see you in a year.
Yeah.
So then we'll...
So you're going to suffer for a year. Chad says, very much depends on a bunch of stuff, but given the right conditions, absolutely. Never again zips her lip. Ox says, no, not my place to knowingly take another life, human or other. Ricardo says, I gut that bitch open. Okay.
like I said, if it was like Grandpa, like, "Hey, I don't want to be on life support anymore. I just want it to be done," I'd have to like really think about it. But I'm sure, like,
Yeah, but again, it's not turn the life support off. It's smother him with the pillow.
oh well, then fuck that. No, I'm not gonna have that in my head for the rest of my life. But you know what?
I'm thinking more like, give them an injection or
Yes.
push down on the morphine, or
Yes.
I mean, I could hand it to them, or give them the poison, or push the wheelchair to the cliff. But
yeah,
it would have to be their decision for the last step. I don't think I could do it. I just
Yeah.
can't harm
I
anyone.
could say, I could say it is an act of love, but I think in retrospect I'll be ambivalent about it. But
yeah, like I don't think I could be like, "Hey, I want you. I don't want to live anymore. I want you to kill me," and then be like, "All right, let's do this." Like, no, I couldn't do that.
No.
See, I had this conversation with a doctor that I used to live with many years ago, and she was saying to me, like, her issue is not with assisted suicide, the actual act of it, it's what the patient actually wants, because when they're saying they want it to be over, are they saying the pain or life?
Yeah.
But oftentimes, like, they are in terminal situations or situations where the pain meds are no longer working, there's nothing else,
Right.
like they have
I think
doctors
there
kill
is
people all the time.
I think there's I don't think there's anything, when someone is clearly terminally ill and not going to last long and are just in such pain, I just see no ethical issue if they say they want to fucking end it.
Right, but
See, I think the reverse is true there. I think the reverse is completely true. Okay, well, the reverse is not what you think. I think it is wrong to force someone to live through dying. I think it is morally absolutely wrong to force someone through dying in pain.
I mean, yeah, I kind of.
Well, I know from just a couple of months ago, actually, was kind of the case with my sister that for the last week she just fucking wanted it to be over.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I had the same problem with my mum.
Right,
Yeah.
like with my mom, when my mom was passed.
Sorry, I'm going to take a break, Dave, for a sec.
No worries.
This is a bit too recent for me. Okay, so
Go for it.
Yeah, like when my mom was in the hospital for cancer and stuff, like I was constantly talking to her, and she had asked me, hey, if I wanted you to, could you convince Jay to, pull the plug? And I'm like, I don't think so. And it wasn't that I want my mom to suffer. It was more of the longs like, I don't think I'd be strong enough to be like, hey, this is what my mom wants. This is what you need to do. Because if she asked me directly to do it, I don't even think I'd be able to do it. You know what I mean? So convincing someone else to do it would just be just as hard for me to do it myself.
Yeah.
That's why people.
Go ahead.
That's why people need their own advance directives.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Wild
that's
Eden.
okay.
Go on. I was saying,
Well, you
Wild
were
Eden.
saying that- yeah.
Wild Eden says, I don't think anyone can answer that until they're faced with that situation. I gotta say, watching my mother, the last week of my mother's life, go through it, and I'm fairly certain that when it came to the last day, the doctor sped it up by a couple of days. But even the last week was horrible. The last 3 or 4 days, she was gone. Her brain, she was basically dead, but she still breathed. And just watching her go through this as she just basically starves to death because they can't do anything to intervene. They can't do anything, and it's horrible. And I don't think you. Yeah. I think that a lot of people, that this idea of life being this thing has screwed it up.
Well, I think that everybody needs to take in consideration the fact that you have to live with that.
Right. That's
Yes,
what I'm
I
saying.
For a
agree.
good cause, you
Yeah.
have to live with it. And coming from someone who has accidentally killed somebody, it is not something you want to live with if you intentionally do it. Even if you're helping, it's going to be bad.
Well, there's more than that. It's not just you having to live with it. It's also your family members knowing what you did and having to live with your family members as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
because you don't know if they're gonna resent you for the rest of your life or how they're gonna take it, and
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. Trust me.
right, and and I agree with you, Dave, 100%. Like, you don't want to see somebody suffer. Like, that's kind of why my mom didn't want me seeing her in the hospital, because she knew, I would just see her suffering, and she didn't want that. So, I completely understand what you're saying as well. It's just a shit situation either way.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It's a catch-22. There's no good answer for this.
Right, yes, okay. Never again says, totally agree, Dave. Even if the pain is only emotional, some people can't recover, and my lips are zipped again. Ricardo said, I've discussed this with someone. We have a mutual support agreement. Purple says, if someone I care for was suffering and there was no hope of recovery, I could do it. Ox says, here's a hand grenade. Hold this. I'll take the pin. Been nice knowing you. Just give me a 50-foot head start. Bye. See, I quite like that method if you could do that. If someone wants to die, who am I to deny it? The problem is we're talking about, you get to the end of life, you can't, denying it's not so much necessarily the option. Ted says, you are assuming you get caught. You're all bad at planning. Ultimately, we all want to live through death. And I would argue with consent and good cause, it's fine. Yes, this is about assisted suicide. Right.
Well, I don't even think it's... I did want to say this real quick. I don't even think it's about the idea that we would get caught. It's more of if someone really close to me was just like, hey, I need you to kill me, right the fuck now. I can't take this shit anymore. I'm in a position where I really love this person and I don't want to see them, hurting. But at the same time, taking their fucking life is the scariest thing I can think of. You know what I mean? So I don't even think it's the aspect of getting caught. It's more of oh my God, I just actually fucking did this.
No, that's my point, is you have to live with yourself afterwards.
Right.
Who was it? Ox, I think, said, here's a grenade, give me 50 feet. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing, because that's that person's decision of what to do.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I could hand him the poison and I could push the wheelchair to the cliff, but I would never. Nope.
Right. Yeah.
I don't care how much I love him. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have people who can't actually do it themselves. They're so weak they couldn't even inject themselves, or take a drink,
Yeah. A Death Boy says, the way I see it, if they are suffering, the moral thing to do is put them out of their misery. If they are just randomly, I would say they are trying to get them outside. Professional help is preferred. Yeah. Go on, Jenny.
No, I can't.
It's okay. Ricardo says that.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
Like, I'm on the same page as you, and like I heard the grenade thing. Like, even then, like, say they don't do it, do you think that they would hate you for helping them do that?
I can't see why.
Like, say like we'll give an example. Like somebody's just done with everything. The pain hurts, and then you're like, all right, let's do the grenade thing. You pull the pin, you run, and they hold it, but then they fucking throw it somewhere else, and then they get better. You don't know what's gonna happen from then on out.
But you've given them that option.
Right.
Especially at that point, you've made things to. You've helped them as much as you can or are willing to.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Would anyone else like to say anything before we move on to the last question?
No, I think we should move on.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Next.
Escape. If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.